These are unnamed seedlings divisions that I bought from Saracenia Northwest in the spring of 2018, and I've been growing them out. And I'm seeing I had flower buds last year, but I've got more buds this year. And by date, my pot number 1, which is this one here, and pot number 6, which is this one here, and number 13, which is this one over here, all had buds first noticed by me on April 7th. Next to show flower buds on April 11th were pot number 2, and here's the bud right down here. There's only one bud that I can see as of now. And then number 7, which is this one here, and the bud is, right over here, right there. Number 11 is in the back, and that's the bud right there. Okay, and number 12 is over here, and it's actually being blocked by this picture. So there. So here's number 12, and here's the bud right here. And actually there's another bud up here. Plants number 3, 4, and 5. This is number 3. This is number 4. And this is number 5. These plants are showing growth as of today, which is April 17th. But I do not see any buds, so they're just beginning to show some growth. The pictures that you see are last year's pictures. They survived being stored in the leaf pile over the winter. Okay, plants 8, 9, and 10 also are showing growth, but I do not see any buds, flower buds coming out yet. These are all of my Sarracenia Northwest divisions. This one here looks a lot to me like it's Sarracenia flava, or it's got Sarracenia, excuse me, not flava, Sarracenia rubra, subspecies rubra from the pictures. I don't know for sure, and these could easily be hybrids or cultivars. They're totally unnamed, but this sure looks like it has a lot of rubra in it. I'm waiting for the flower to see for sure. On my other plants, besides the ones from Sarracenia Northwest, I have a plant that I bought from Jason of our club at an auction. What was that? I guess probably 2 years ago. And this is Sarracenia flava, seed grown from Sumatra, Florida. That showed plenty of flower buds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 flower buds on that. That was April 7th. And I bought it in the auction last year. I forget the date. I think it was in July. The meeting that was at that environmental center. This is Sarracenia leucophila tarnock. And I see 1, 2, 3, 4 flower buds right now. And so that's those plants. This is another one of those Sarracenia flavas that I bought at the auction. This is, I'm calling number 2. I saw its first flower bud on April 12th. It's kind of tiny, but it's right down in here. If I can move the phyllodia away. There it is there. And then I just noticed today my Sarracenia number 3, Sarracenia flava I should say, number 3, boy, yes, Sarracenia flava. These were seed grown and the seeds were collected in Sumatra, Florida. So this one has a pretty big bud. I'm just noticing that today on the 17th. These 2 plants I collected with Jason when we went down into the Pine Barrens on privately owned property with permission to weed out hybrid pitcher plants due to a planting years and years and years ago. And so now this property they want to try to purify, and so some of the plants I was able to bring home that we pulled out. This one here, I'm noticing it has a flower bud today. This I think looks pretty close to Sarracenia rubra, subspecies rubra, that has buds today. And here's another. This one definitely looks like a hybrid, probably between purpurea and rubra. And I'm just noticing right up in here that there I'm getting a flower bud, and there's some of that miniature sphagnum moss that I collected while we were there at the same time. I love it because it doesn't get any taller than that. I have other sphagnum moss that grows so bushy it floods the plant. It covers the plant. The pot, I mean, not the plant. It covers the pot too much. This is a Sarracenia minor that I bought at our auction last summer, and it had some Drosera filiformis, which I'm just noticing and just realizing what I had seen. These are the hibernacula starting to grow. I can't get up close enough with my camera, but you can just see the leaves starting to unfurl. So that's what these little dark green features are. That's the filiformis. Now if I zoom out, that's the pot, and the minor has not started growth yet. These two plants I bought at Rare Find Nursery 2 years ago. This is Sarracenia hybrid Maroon, Maroon, is it? Yeah, 1R, and I'm noticing flower buds on it today for the first time. In the back is Sarracenia Scarlet Bell, a natural hybrid between Sarracenia leucophylla and Sarracenia psittacina. I see growth. The pictures that you see are last year's pictures, but I don't see any flower buds yet. This is my Sarracenia leucophylla. It's got a little bit of that very short stature sphagnum. I do not see any flower buds coming up yet, but I just transplanted it a couple weeks ago, and it is showing some. Here's one of my pots of Venus flytraps, and this is yellow asphodel, and it also has some Drosera coming up on it out of their hibernacula. But the asphodel is starting to grow. It's a grass-leaved plant. It almost looks like, if you know what the blue-eyed grass looks like, Sisyranchium, I think is the genus. I forget. But anyway.